Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the GSMC Basketball Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. As always, I'm your host, Meryl Fatemi. Getting into our next segment here, we're going to take a look at the Boston Celtics series against the Orlando Magic, a series that's been before we've heard a little bit of fandom about this, not from a Boston Celtics side. Never, ever, ever, of course, because Boston Celtics. Not going to get into that. Um, Orlando. A lot of people picking Orlando to possibly upset the Celtics in this one. Um, I think it's the defense of the Orlando Magic that they thought would be too much for the Celtics to handle down the stretch, which makes sense, honestly. They played probably one of the best fourth quarters I've ever seen, making the game between the Atlanta Hawks with a 2 point lead against the Atlanta Hawks going into the fourth quarter to having a 25-point finish. Just an unbelievable run overall, and a young, feisty Orlando Magic team that has a lot to prove. But this this series now takes a turn. In game one, Jayson Tatum falling on his wrist after going on a dunk attempt. Caldwell-Pope being called for a flagrant foul on a date for a dangerous act. Accidental, of course. It wasn't anything intentional, but Jayson Tatum trying to catch himself with his left wrist, falling down, all the way falling on his wrist, and that was pretty much that. Falling to the ground, immediately grabbing at that wrist, visibly in pain. Overall, just a tough sight to see for Jayson Tatum. Um, and we saw after he tried to shoot a couple free throws, tried to shoot a couple threes, missed both free throws after that fall, and then airballed ensuingly, I believe, at least one, if not two threes, right after that in the next couple minutes to follow. Without Jayson Tatum on the floor, what happens to this team? That's the major question. That is the burning question. In game one, it was the Derrick White, Payton Pritchard show. Payton Pritchard specifically finishing with 19 points, really being an energizer bunny in the first half, keeping the Celtics close with the Orlando Magic. Pritchard's 3-point shooting was on point in that first half, shooting 4 for 6 from 3, 6 for 8 from the field. Just an efficient night for Payton Pritchard. Kind of casually what we expect from Payton Pritchard these days, especially as he was just announced as the Sixth Man of the Year award winner. Also Derrick White shooting 10 of 18, 7 of 12 from 3. Classic Derrick White numbers, finishing with 30 points. Whenever he finishes with 30 points, you know that three ball was going down. He loves it. He shoots it a lot, a bunch. He's averaging over 40% from 3-point range this year, and he's one of the best in the business at what he does. So, where does the pressure go without Jayson Tatum in the lineup now for the Boston Celtics? Jaylen Brown having a little bit more of an anemic night in game one, shooting 6 of 14, 0 for 2 from 3-point range, 16 points. Not his best performance. There are videos out there. I probably should play the video. I don't have the video right now. There is a video going around of Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown just shooting pregame and just missing every shot. Just could not get a basket for their life. Could just be a pre-playoff hangover, pre-playoff slump. A lot of these players sitting a lot of games as we finished the last month and a half of the regular season, as they were set in stone as the 2 seed, trying to go after the Cleveland Cavaliers for the 1 seed, but couldn't get the job done. I believe they finished like 3 games behind or so. Regardless, without Jayson Tatum in the lineup, 2 things happen. One, Paolo Banchero. I want to check that before I say that. I believe they'll put Paolo Banchero on Jaylen Brown now. He was the guy guarding Jayson Tatum down the stretch in game one. But they can key on Jaylen Brown, number one. They can throw a Jonathan Isaac. Well, they'll probably I'll take that back. They'll throw Isaac on Jaylen Brown. They'll probably throw Banchero on Derrick White. They'll just be able to defensively lock down the Celtics much better, I'd say. That is the one thing that the Magic have going for them. This plays in their favor because with the Celtics missing possibly their number one offensive threat, more weight leans on Jaylen Brown, but also leans on the Drew Holidays and Derrick Whites of the world being able to shoot the ball. Drew Holiday has been kind of iffy shooting the ball this season, has not shot it very well. In this one, shooting 3 for 4 from 3-point range, having all his points being threes. But Drew Holiday going to need to turn it up a little bit. If he can average closer to 13, 14 points a game in this series, I think the Celtics will be in a good spot if he can get closer to those numbers. 13, 14, 15 points a game. That's really all you need. You just need Drew Holiday to pick up some of the slack that Jayson Tatum leaves behind. Kristaps Porzingis as well, not having his best shooting day, 1 for 8 from the field in game 1. You know that's a little bit of an anemic performance from Kristaps Porzingis. They were playing him pretty tough. Their physicality was up all game in this one. We know the Orlando Magic love playing with physicality, with Mo Wagner, with Franz Wagner. Both of those guys were definitely keying in on Porzingis, making life tough for him. But overall, just need to be more physical, need to be more sharp with your shooting. Payton Pritchard's going to be crucial in this one, down the stretch in this series. But, of course, Jayson Tatum only listed as doubtful right now. I believe he'll be out in Game 2 and Game 3, but he should be back for Game 4. It'll be interesting to see if he wears a brace, how that brace affects his shot. We're not going to officially get the word on what's actually wrong with him. We will not see that until after these playoffs. But just something to keep in mind. Jayson Tatum will most likely be a little bit injured for the rest of these playoffs, at least until the Eastern Conference Finals, until maybe even the finals if he can get some extra rest. But especially if you win without Jayson Tatum in Games 2 and Game 3, what's the point of playing Jayson Tatum in Game 4? That's just a question. Maybe it's just me. If I'm the Boston Celtics, I don't even play him if I win these next 2 games without Tatum, which is what I project will happen. So, I'm not projecting that they'll win, but I'm projecting that Jayson Tatum will not play in the next 2 games. So, we'll see how that all pans out. I'm going to take another short break, and when we come back, we're going to preview these There's 2 series going on tonight. We're going to recap a little bit on the Thunder and Grizzlies series. We're going to touch on it for a few minutes. Nothing crazy. There's a little bit of nuggets of information I want to throw in there about that game because it was still a game. It was an interesting game. With the Grizzlies getting a lot of noise right now about possibly getting swept with how they performed in Game 1, losing by over 50 points in Game 1. So we're going to talk a little bit about that series and then preview the Miami Heat Cleveland Cavaliers Game 2 tonight, as well as there's another Game 2. I can't remember it. I apologize. Magic Celtics we talked about. We'll preview Heat Cavs and recap Memphis Grizzlies when I come back. Be right back, guys. Stay tuned.